Johnson, and today I'm going to be talking about the menstrual cycle's effect on injury and performance in female athletes. I think this is an important thing to educate young women on because puberty can be such a confusing time. It can be very stressful and inconvenient, and especially as a young female, you don't really understand what is happening with your body. And if you're an athlete, you may be on the field and be wondering, why do I feel this way? Like, why? How come sometimes I feel really good and sometimes I'm just really off my A game? Um, so, answering some of these questions can put the mind at ease during such a stressful time, and that is the goal of today's presentation. So, the menstrual cycle. What is it? What are the phases? And who does it affect? The menstrual cycle is a monthly hormonal cycle that a female's body goes through to prepare for pregnancy. That is the baseline purpose of it. You are shedding your uterine lining to prepare for a new one, and so you can release eggs, and so that they become fertilized and have a baby. There are 4 different phases. There's the menstrual phase, the follicular phase, ovulatory phase, and the luteal phase. And typically, women between the ages of 13 to 45 have a menstrual cycle. The average age for a young woman to get a period for the first time is around 13 years old, and usually around the age of 45 is when women start going through menopause, and so they will stop having a monthly cycle. So here in this lovely graph, we have all of the different phases as well as the different hormones associated with them and their levels. So each phase is unique, and there's different hormones released during each part of the cycle with a specific purpose. Some of these hormones will make you feel better, happier, more energetic, while others leave you feeling tired, lethargic, and bogged down. Each play a role in preparing the body for pregnancy, and some of these preparations can affect the body during athletic performance, which we will discuss later on in this presentation. So, what are the main hormones? There's estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone. Those are the 3 main female sex hormones. Estrogen is a sex hormone that's necessary for maintaining your sexual and reproductive health. Progesterone is a hormone that supports menstruation and maintaining pregnancy. And testosterone helps to regulate sex drive, regulates the menstrual cycle, and preserves muscle mass. Now, women have a significantly smaller amount of testosterone than males do, but it is still an important hormone in the body. They're important because they regulate the cycle and allow women to give birth and develop natural sex characteristics. And like I've mentioned, different levels of hormones during each phase may cause a woman to experience different side effects. So now we're going to talk about how these hormones affect our performance. Specifically, we're going to be talking about aerobic performance, anaerobic performance, endurance performance, and strength performance. If you are unfamiliar with these terms, aerobic performance is the body's ability to use oxygen to produce energy during exercise. It's going to be more like long form exercise. Anaerobic literally means without oxygen, so it involves more intense, short bursts of physical activity compared to aerobic exercise. Endurance performance is the ability of the body to sustain a physical activity for an extended period of time, usually at a sub-maximal work rate, and strength performance is the ability of a muscle to apply force to overcome resistance. So, why do these hormones affect our performance? Well, each of these is involved in different things. So, estrogen is involved in muscle building, carbohydrate metabolism, neuromuscular signaling, enhanced mood and energy levels, and contributing to ligament elasticity and strength, while progesterone is involved in inhibiting the effects of estrogen, having a thermogenic effect, raising the body's temperature, influencing fluid and electrolyte balance, and having a catabolic effect on muscle tissue. All of these will be related to decreasing performance overall, as we'll take a look at here. So here are all the different phases of the menstrual cycle, and through many different studies, professionals have found that endurance is best during the menstruation. During the follicular phase, anaerobic performance is impaired. During ovulation, muscular strength and anaerobic performance are at their best, while during the luteal phase, muscular strength and aerobic performance are impaired. And generally speaking, higher levels of estrogen are associated with better performance, and higher levels of progesterone are associated with worse performance. Taking a look at this graph here, we see that during the ovulatory phase, we have a higher level of estrogen and a lower level of progesterone, which is going to lead to the muscular strength and aerobic performance increasing. Now, when we talk about the rate of injury, it's very similar because, like I mentioned earlier, the different hormones released during different parts of the cycle are trying to prepare the body for pregnancy, which will in turn affect the laxity of the ligaments, the strength, body temperature, and neuromuscular control. So what researchers have found is that during the earlier follicular phase, the early luteal phase, there's an increased release of relaxin. And relaxin is a reproductive hormone produced by your ovaries and the placenta, and it loosens and relaxes your muscles, joints, and ligaments during pregnancy to help your body stretch. However, this increase in laxity of your joints and your muscles also puts you at an increased risk of injury, especially if you're in a contact sport. They found that female soccer players who were in their follicular and luteal phases of their cycle had an increased rate of injury. And similar to relaxin, there's an increased release of estradiol, and that is associated with increased laxity, strength, and poor use of neuromuscular control. So the ovulatory phase is associated with an increased rate of injury. Now, none of this information is meant to scare young women. It is just an important thing to realize that your body is super special and it does a lot for you, but sometimes some of the hormones that are being released can affect you in your daily life. So it's important to remember a couple of key things: that estrogen and progesterone play critical roles in the menstrual cycle, but their fluctuations are predictable and they cause changes in energy levels, recovery, and the risk of injury. If you are able, you can log your menstrual cycle in apps or in your notes or calendar, so you're able to recognize these different fluctuations and give yourself a bit of forgiveness when it comes to these performance changes and mood changes. More research is needed to understand these changes on a more biological level to allow coaches and athletes to change their training and workout plans to adjust to these new research findings. As of right now, there's not enough information for them to really make changes on it, but hopefully in the future we'll be able to get more information and help these athletes. Thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.